in.
What they found was that young males between the ages of 18 and 30 are more likely to be at risk from developing a gambling problem than the general population. They found that the general population of Americans has about a 3% risk of developing a gambling problem, but among young males in the United States, that figure is 10%.
Correspondent Wayne Perry reporting. The survey asked respondents about several indications of problem gambling behaviors like borrowing money to gamble or saying that their gambling has caused financial or emotional problems. General Motors is recalling hundreds of thousands of SUVs and pickup trucks. Correspondent Mike Hempen reports.
The GM recall involves nearly 450,000 SUVs and pickup trucks. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the electronic brake control module software may fail to display a warning light when a loss of brake fluid occurs. The agency says without the warning light, a vehicle may be driven with low brake fluid, which can reduce braking performance and increase the risk of a crash. The recall includes certain models of the Cadillac Escalade, the Chevrolet Silverado 1500, the Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban 1500, the GMC Sierra 1500, and the GMC Yukon and Yukon XL. I'm Mike Hempen.
Israel launched a rare airstrike that killed a senior Hezbollah military official in a densely populated southern Beirut neighborhood. It was the deadliest such strike on Lebanon's capital in decades. On Wall Street, the Dow by 38 points, the Nasdaq dropped 65, the S&P lower by 11. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Arizona Cardinals fans are seeing red.
An Arizona Cardinals fan was forced to throw out her Make America Great Again hat when entering State Farm Stadium Sunday for a game against the Los Angeles Rams. The Cardinals season ticket holder said a stadium worker told her to remove her black MAGA hat if she wanted to enter, claiming political attire is not allowed inside State Farm Stadium. The Cardinals have issued an apology, saying no such policy exists, and they've reached out to the fan. They claim the employee was unclear on the rules and that the only items banned are signage, posters, flags, or displays that are political in nature, but not MAGA hats. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Shohei Ohtani keeps showing a flair for the dramatic during his historic year with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Japanese superstar is now the only player in Major League history with 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
It's a Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard with Phil Cornblee and David Shelton. We've got all the scores from across the state, plus game reports and interviews with coaches. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, let's head to the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia. Here's Phil Kornblut.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network here on this last Friday night of summer as fall arrives this weekend. Not going to feel like fall. Doesn't feel like fall out there tonight yet. Then again, I think we would trade this for wet weather, stormy weather that we've had throughout the football season to this point. So a good night for high school football. A little warm, but still a good night nonetheless. Hope everything has gone well out there for players and coaches and officials and families, and we have no ruckuses anywhere. Just have some very good high school football across the state of South Carolina. Phil Kornblut here at our Columbia studios, along with Josh Cohen. David Shelton will be joining us about the 10:30 hour to provide his insight and analysis on the scores we're about to dive into. Let's go ahead and give you what we've got on the scoreboard at this point, courtesy of ScoreStream. We report the scores, but we don't guarantee their accuracy because sometimes they're a little bit off. But we'll give you what we've got at this point. And we'll be verifying other scores through other media like newspapers that are a little bit more trustworthy. Okay, and some of these are in progress in the second half. Ridge Spring Lunetta, 13-0 over Eau Claire in the fourth quarter. Northwood 34, Ben Lippen nothing. A final, Belton Honeypath over Palmetto, 37-14. In the fourth quarter, Dillon is staging a rally on Hartsville. Hartsville had a bigger lead. It's now 31-28 Red Foxes in the fourth quarter. Lee Academy leading Thomas Sumter, 35-16 fourth quarter. At the half, Northside Christian was leading Spartanburg Christian, 34-13. Williamsburg Academy defeats Florence Christian, 35-20. Wilson Hall over Camden Military, 42-0. Hammond over Hilton Head Christian, 55-21. The Mountain View Christian American Leadership Academy of Lexington game was canceled. Don't know why, but listed as canceled. Lakeview canceled Johnsonville tonight, 37-0. Latta likewise to Green Sea Floyd's, 47-8. Hannah Pampico leading Carvers Bay, 40-14. Third quarter. Andrews of North Carolina, 49. Calhoun Falls, nothing. You may have heard on Sports Talk tonight the news, Marlboro County and North Myrtle Beach. That game was canceled. Marlboro County apparently is claiming it as a forfeit victory, and North Myrtle Beach is claiming it as a canceled game. This apparently due to some issues at Marlboro County and also some social media things written. And North Myrtle Beach apparently initiating this cancellation. Kingstree, fourth quarter, leading Marion 52-16. Mullins in the fourth quarter over Atlantic Collegiate 36-12. Third quarter, Bamberg Earhart 14, Woodland 12. Fourth quarter, Andrews 30, Waccamaw 27. Fourth quarter, Hunter Connor Tyler 28, Lake Marion 20. A final, Barnwell over Swansea 14-7. Third quarter, Lamar 21, North Central nothing. In the fourth quarter, Chesterfield 22, McBee 14. In the third quarter, Great Falls 22, Buford 13. A final, Louisville 27, Andrew Jackson 3. In the third, Fairfield Central 35, Newberry 28. A final, Columbia High 15, Wagner Sally nothing. Final, Chester 54, Union County 12. Fourth quarter, Christ Church 14, Chapman 7. Final, Landrum 48, West Oak nothing. A final, Woodruff 45, Chesney 28. A final, Central 44, Blacksburg 14. Another final, Irmo 38, Myrtle Beach 12. A final, West Florence 28, Lugoff Elgin 7. Final, Bluffton 31, Lucy Beckham 17. Third quarter, in Interesting. Portugal 20, Bishop England nothing. A final, Beaufort 34, Battery Creek 7. Another final, Lakewood 17, Wilson 14. Another final. How about Darlington going on the road and defeating Lower Richland 26-12? Great turnaround season for the Falcons. Final, South Florence 42, Crestwood 7. Another final, Gray Collegiate 26, Midland Valley 21. Fourth quarter, North Augusta 30, Gilbert 14. Final, Brooklyn Casey 34, South Aiken 27. Final, Airport 13, Correction, third quarter, Airport 13, Aiken 8. Fourth quarter, Richland Northeast at Zemp Stadium, Camden, leading 26-15. Final, South Point 56, AC Flora 14. In the fourth, Seneca 63, Travelers Rest 12. Final, Daniel 37 and Clennon 12. Big win for the Lions there. Another final, Pickens 35, Blue Ridge 26. In the fourth quarter, Greer 63, Berea nothing. Final, Strom Thurmond 26, Emerald 14. A final, Wando 21, West Ashley 7. Final, James Island 31, St. James nothing. In the fourth, Sumter 56, Spring Valley 7. Final score, Spartanburg 49, Eastside 6. Final, River Bluff 44, Sharon nothing. Final, Northwestern 67, Nation Ford 13. Final, Burns 52, Wade Hampton nothing. In the third, Catawba Ridge 27, Fort Mill nothing. Final, Dorman 24, Riverside 13. Final, Ainer comes from behind and beats Conway 39-35. Fourth quarter, Somerville 46, Chapin 25. Final, White Knoll 49, Cane Bay 13. Fourth quarter, Gaffney and Gaffney and Bowling Springs 22-22. Two unbeatens. Game's gone back and forth, obviously, all night, all tied at 22. Final, Ashley Ridge 45, Carolina Forest 35. Final, Greenwood 25, T.L. Hanna 21. A final, J.O. Mann 55, Easley 6. A final, Hillcrest 51, Malden 6. Championship of the Golden Strip there. I think there's a name for that rivalry. Maybe that's it. Final, Lincoln County 41, Silver Bluff 15. Fourth quarter, this is a dandy. West Side 42, Prince Avenue Christian of Georgia 35. Final, Westwood 7, Blythewood nothing. Final, Blackville Hilda 20, Denmark Oler 12. And a final, Dreer 26, York 12. Actually played last night. Okay, you're up to date on all the scores to the moments that we have in finals and otherwise. So let's go ahead and get to some of our reporters who are standing by to give us the stories on their particular games. And we go to Thomas Grant. Won't take him long to recap the scoring in this one because he represented the Prep Red Zone at Westwood and Blythewood, where you had a total of 7 points scored, if my scoreboard is correct. Welcome in, Thomas.
Hi, Phil, and you were correct. It was 7-0. This was the Battle of the Axe up in up in the Blythewood area. Yeah, Blythewood was trying to defend the Axe against Westwood, and basically it was a scoreless first half, and the only scoring took place on the opening drive of the second half by Westwood, where they drove 8 plays and 80 yards and got a 9-yard touchdown pass from Carrington Carter to Uriah Lofton. And from that point on, that was the scoring. Although Blythewood had few opportunities, they had a couple of scores in particular. they had a 82-yard kickoff return that was called back, and they also had a 21-yard touchdown pass that was called back as well. But it seemed like most of the evening the story was every time they got into the red zone, they would get shut down by Westwood's defense. Credit to them. And then Blackwood had a final chance to tie the game, and John Henry Collins' pass was intercepted by Justin Washington in the end zone with 1:40 left. And that sealed the victory, and that gave the axe back to Westwood for the first time since 2019.
How about that? Very good. Thomas, thank you very much, sir. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.
Right. Okay.
Great job as always. And you can read more from Thomas and his cohorts as they report for the Prep Red Zone here in South Carolina. First break is coming up. David Shelton in a few minutes. We'll analyze things. We'll have more updates for you as well and more reports coming up, too. This is the High School Football Scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union around the state on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans on the corner across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Farm Bureau insurance agents live and work right in our community. They're not at the end of some 1-800 number thousands of miles away. The personalized attention, competitive rates, and a reputation for fast, fair claim service sets Farm Bureau insurance apart from the competition. For your auto, home, and life insurance needs, trust Farm Bureau Insurance. In Clinton and Lawrence, give a call at 864-984-0413 or stop by the office at 726 East Main Street in Lawrence to see how local makes a difference.
Set your youth up for a lifetime of financial success with Smart Start from Founders Federal Credit Union. Smart Start products and educational resources help teach kids and teens the basics of saving, budgeting, and smart spending. Help them learn smart money skills to jumpstart their financial journey with Smart Start savings, debit, certificates, and educational resources. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken. We're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
Got ACC football going on tonight. Stanford leading Syracuse 20-17 early in the fourth quarter. Okay. In the you will not believe this category, this was sent to me by a friend who got a message from a friend. So I'm taking this as the truth. And this came down at 10:05. And this, I'll read it as it's sent to me. With 0.2 seconds left, all Conway needed to do was take a knee to end the game. They're playing Aner. Thinking the game was over, Conway tossed the ball back to the referee after the snap. The ball was live. Aner recovered in the end zone. Final, Aner 39, Conway 35. Let that sink in for a second. Tossed the ball back to the referee. There were 0.2 seconds left. And they must have been, I'm just trying to piece this together. 39-35. I don't know if they kicked an extra point. Probably not. So that means the score was 35-31. 35-33. 35-33, that'd be 39. Ainer must have been down deep. I'm just trying to piece this together. Because if the Conway quarterback, I'm assuming it's the quarterback, thought the game was over, tossed the ball to the official, the ball was live, and Ainer recovered in the end zone and wins it 39-35. Okay, that's an all-timer right there, folks. That's an all-timer. Boy, what a way to lose a ball game. So, yeah, we'll talk with David about that for sure when he joins us in just a few minutes. In the meantime, let's continue with our reporters out in the fields tonight. And we go to Taylor Novinger, who was on the call tonight for Crestwood High School. And let's see, Crestwood tonight was playing South Florence. It was Crestwood and South Florence, the Bruins. Okay, Taylor, I don't think it went well for your guys tonight, did it not?
Phil, but it's a tale of two halves because it was 14-7 at halftime. Jaden Sellers returned a punt for a touchdown, and he returned another punt that got South Florence great field position, and they scored. So the Crestwood defense did a really good job the first half stopping them up, and the only touchdown for Crestwood on the night was an 85-yard kickoff return that set them up around the 10-yard line where they handed it off in. Crestwood had a lot of trouble tonight running the football, throwing the football. They've got a young freshman playing quarterback. This is the third quarterback that they are on this season. So it's been an uphill battle as they go 0-1 into region play. They face Lower Richland next week.
What was that final score?
42-7.
42-7.
So in the second half, it kind of got out of hand as they're only down 14-7 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So
you see a South Florence team that maybe is starting to hit its stride. I mean, they played a very tough non-region schedule. You see a South Florence team that's going to be a handful in region play.
I think they will be a handful in region play, but I don't think they'll have a deep run. I really don't. I think Sumter is the better team after seeing both of those two come to Crestwood.
All right, Taylor, thank you very much. Appreciate the phone call, and we'll talk to you next week. A big win for South Florence over Crestwood, 42-7. Thank you. Good hearing from you. Let's go to Garrett Mitchell. Garrett Mitchell. I sent out an APB for Garrett Mitchell. I was concerned about him because we haven't heard from him in a couple of weeks, and now we got him back. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
I tell you what, Phil, I'm doing absolutely phenomenal, and my abject apologies. It was my firm intention to call last Friday night, but of course Woodruff played on Thursday. That threw off my entire routine. I didn't make it to another game on Friday, so I was at home in front of my TV watching the Braves, and by the time I realized I hadn't called, it was midnight. So I was kicking myself, but it's good to be back.
It is good to have you back, and I know you had the high school scoreboard on in your ear while you were watching the Braves.
I'll tell you what, I was listening for a little.
Oops.
I walked out of the room, and by the time I realized I didn't call, heck, it was too late. So, but nobody wants to hear me ramble on about watching a baseball game. So the Wolverines rode into Chesney tonight with a 4-0 record. The latest 3A media poll, they were ranked number 5. And credit to the Chesney Eagles, they gave Woodruff a battle in the first half. It was Woodruff had to kick a 39-yard field goal as time expired in the first half. Gave the Wolverines a 17-14 lead at the break, and that was after Chesney had hit a couple of deep balls for touchdowns. But then in the second half, it was the Aiden Gibson show. Woodruff's 6'2", 200-pound sophomore running back. He scored 4 touchdowns in the second half, finished the night with 210 yards, and tied the school record with 5 rushing touchdowns. Woodruff scored 28 unanswered points to pull away. 45-28 was the final, and Woodruff moves to 5-0.
You've been telling us this Woodruff team would be coming on. Looks like they're coming on.
No, they really are. And I tell you what's really impressed me, Phil, about this group is last year when they went 4-7, there were some games where they were in it in the fourth quarter and they had a chance to possibly pull in front or pull the game out. You had a bunch of sophomores that had not been on that big stage yet. And what we've seen this year is in some tight situations, these kids have really buckled down and made the plays on offense or defense. And where they were falling short last year, they found a way to pull it out this year. Such a great sign of growth and maturation.
Okay, my friend, good to have you back with us. Keep us always in your mind, Braves or no Braves, and we'll look for you next week.
Absolutely. Woodruff's got Wren coming into Varner Stadium. It's a big game, should be a great one, and I'll be back to talk about it then.
You got it, my man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And a great report there. Good to have Garrett back with us to give us that story on Woodruff. Woodruff is having a very good season, playing excellent football, big-time offense, scoring pretty much at will, and running up the scores on some people. Okay. We want to welcome in, before we get to David Shelton, we'll get to David after the bottom of the hour. One thing we're going to be doing here moving forward as we continue with the scoreboard across the state of South Carolina is welcoming in representatives from various electric cooperatives around the state of South Carolina in connection with Touchstone Energy Cooperatives and the Touchstone Energy Bowl here in South Carolina. We welcome in Bobby Hemby, who was with the Little River Cooperative, and he's up in the upstate, and tonight went to see Crescent. And who was the opponent for you tonight?
96.
Crescent and 96. Yeah, which one? And you're a representative of the 96 area?
Yeah, I do the play-by-play for 96. Been doing it for about 5 years now. So.
Fantastic. Well, welcome in. Tell us.
Walking in the parking lot coming out of the stadium. So.
Well, super. It was great to have you with us. Tell us about your game tonight.
Well, it didn't go the way we wanted it to go. Our offense kind of sputtered a little bit at times, and we fell behind kind of early. Ended up losing 35 to 16, but got some work to do. Got an open date coming up next week before we get into region play. So it should be a interesting region season as we get into region play and so forth. We've played some really good teams this year. We haven't had an easy game on the schedule. Fortunately, we're 1-4, but every game we played, we've had a chance, and we could easily be 4-1 as opposed to 1-4 right now. But just the way it goes. That's high school football for you.
How'd that Crescent team look to you?
That's a good football team. I told some of my guys going into this game, and me and the coach when we did our coaches show even talked about it. This is probably one of the best going into this game 0-3 football teams in 3A football. They have been so close to winning some of their games this year, but they get their first win tonight against us. But that's a good football team. They got a quarterback that can throw it all over the place, and a couple of running backs that's legit. They can play.
Hey, Bobby, can I ask you to hold on through our break here because I want to touch base with you a little bit on the electric cooperatives and the work you do up there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That'll give us a chance to get in the truck or catch our breath. So, yeah,
get that truck going.
I'll hang out.
What are you driving? A Ram with a what you driving?
I got an 09 Chevrolet Silverado extended cab and 180,000 miles on it.
I love it. I love it.
It gets me around. That's the main thing.
I understand. Hang on. We'll come right back to you after the break, and David Shelton will join us as well. We'll update more scores, and we'll get more reports in as well as we continue on this Friday edition of the High School Football Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Let's see if we've got some other finals that have come in as we roll into the break here. See if we can squeeze in a few more final scores as the scoreboard updates here for us. And, well, it's moving too slowly. So we'll pick it up on the other side of this break. Be back in just a moment.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
With 7 locations in the Midlands, Groucho's Deli has been crafting award-winning culinary delight for over 80 years. Bite into the legendary STP Dipper or Apollo and let the unique flavors of My Wife's Salad dressed in our famous Formula 45 sauce enchant you. Don't just dream about it. Taste the hashtag Groucho's goodness today. Whether you're looking for comfort at your doorstep or a cozy corner in our deli, we're always just a click or a step away. Groucho's Deli, your neighborhood deli. Taste the good at grouchos.com.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews,
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
and we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
And
In a time when
walkie-talkies in Lebanon and Syria, some advocates have suggested that the blasts violated international law. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 38 points, the Nasdaq dropped 65. More details at srnnews.com.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Point and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
A choppy trading session with stocks finishing mixed for the day, but up for the week following Thursday's Fed-driven rally. The Dow rose 38 points and notched its 29th record close of the year. The Nasdaq lower by 60, S&P 500 down 15. Shares of Constellation Energy surging 22% after inking a deal with Microsoft. The energy company said it would restart Pennsylvania's 3 Mile Island, the site of the country's worst nuclear accident, to help power Microsoft's artificial intelligence data centers. Apple stock falling slightly after its iPhone 16 model went on sale on Friday in nearly 60 countries. And shares of Intel spiking 3% following a Wall Street Journal report that said the chip giant Qualcomm made a takeover bid for the chip maker in recent days. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey there, it's me, Kennedy. Make sure to check out my podcast, Kennedy Saves the World. It is 5 days a week. Every week, we check in with Jimmy Fallon, bring in authors for the book club, and even treat some of your favorite Fox personalities to a very special happy hour. Download and listen at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Kennedy Saves the World. America's listening to Fox News.
Summer brings a little bit of everything. Vacations, cookouts, hurricanes, bad weather, and yeah, fly-by-night storm chasers beating on your door. But fear not, it also brings emails, like the one Bergen Roofing got from Stephen and Wanda. Quote, I can't say enough good things about our experience with your company and staff for our roofing needs. The professional, punctual, and polite staff that you sent to our home in Lexington for the installation of a new roof made us realize we made the right choice selecting Bergen Roofing. The crew always made certain before they left for the day the lawn was cleaned up, and when the job was complete, your staff made certain our lawn was cleaned up thoroughly to our satisfaction. We would highly recommend and would gladly serve as a reference for your company. New roof looks great. We're so glad we selected Bergen Roofing for our new roof installation. Friends, take it from your neighbors, like Stephen and Wanda. When I talk about Bergen Roofing being your neighborhood roofer, they truly are. If you find yourself in need of a roofer, and Bergen hopes you don't, but if you do, call Bergen Roofing today, 798-ROOF. That's 798-ROOF.
Someone will be right with you. The Point.
And welcome back to the High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. On this very busy Friday night around the state of South Carolina, just got word that, earlier we had information that the Mountain View Prep game, they were supposed to be playing American Leadership on the schedule that we had, that game had been canceled, but it had been canceled, but Mountain View Prep scheduled a game with Asheville School out of North Carolina, a school that Asheville School, like Mountain View Prep, has a bunch of college recruits on it, college prospects. Anyway, Mountain View Prep came away with the win, just got that score in, 42-21, Mountain View Prep. USC running backs coach Marquell Blackwell among the coaches there. Take a look at Jalen McGill do his thing. Let's bring in David Shelton very quickly before we get back to Bobby, because David is now with us. We want him to know that we know he's there, and we welcome him to the program. David, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for asking.
All right, stand by. We'll come back to you for expert analysis. But let's go back to Bobby Hanby, who was with us as we hit the break, and he told us about 96 and Crescent. But before we let Bobby cut away, I wanted him to touch on what's going on up there with his electric cooperative, serving that part of the state, and, of course, a part of the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives and the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, North-South game coming up in December. So give us a couple of key points about what you guys are doing up there, Bobby.
Well, staying busy for one thing. We have a lot of new construction going on right now with a lot of homes coming up in Savannah Lakes area, which is down in the McCormick area. Granted, the McCormick area, we actually serve power to the McCormick High School down there. And, of course, where we were at tonight up here at Crescent, we serve power to Crescent High School as well, too. So a lot of new construction going on for our for Little River Electric, our co-op. And, man, it just seems like every day it gets a little bit faster and faster. just a lot going on and staying busy, which is a good thing. The whole saying is if you're putting in new construction, you're making money to a certain degree. So
Absolutely. How many customers do you guys serve? How many customers would you say you guys serve?
We have right at a little over 14,000 consumers total, which I guess we would say that would be how many meters we have out there on our system. I am the meter technician, so I'm over a metering system. And so I am constantly either reading a meter, changing out a meter, or checking a meter, or doing something to a meter. I think I eat, sleep, and drink meters.
That's great.
I've been fortunate to be at Little River for 32 years, going on 33 years, and I couldn't ask for anything any better. I'm just a blessed individual, to say the least.
And you know what? You're doing high school football play-by-play. It doesn't get any better than that.
Man, I'm going to tell you, this is a dream of mine. This kind of started back in the COVID year, 2020, I think it was, 2019, somewhere in there, around then. And my wife teaches at 96 High School. My kids go to school there. We live in Abbeville, though. And there was an opportunity to come along that they wanted to do a broadcast. And the radio station that I was with, I was doing some stuff with Abbeville. I'm sure you're familiar with the Abbeville Panthers and WZLA.
Yeah.
I was doing stuff with them and had this opportunity. And in 3 weeks, Benji and myself put a broadcast together and started doing games about 5 years ago for 96 High School. And it has been so much fun ever since. And it's just a dream come true. It's something that I kind of fell into the opportunity to do, but working at Little River and doing something like this because of my job, the way it works, I don't get to miss anything, and it's just a great it's been a great opportunity for me, and I hope to continue doing it for a few years to come.
Well, we wish you the best. I'm sure we'll talk to you again later in the season. Thanks for checking in with us tonight, and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it. Enjoy being on, and enjoy your show, and y'all have a great night.
Yes, sir, Bobby. Thank you. Keep in touch. Bobby Hamby from up in the upstate 96 area with the electric co-op up there, and Touchstone Energy Electric Co-ops, big part of sports in South Carolina. The Touchstone Energy game coming up in December. Looking forward to all of that. Welcome back in David Shelton now, as he's got his feet up and under him after a night of football in the Charleston area. Tell us about your game, sir.
Well, I witnessed Wando defeating West Ashley 21-7 to pick up their third win of the season. And you know what? I was interested to see. I thought they won their first two games because they were better than St. James and Socastee. I felt like West Ashley would be a tough test for them, and they answered the bell. In fact, they outplayed West Ashley. West Ashley has really just one mode of operation on offense, and when you stop that run, they have a lot of trouble. But Wando played hard and hit some touchdown passes and won the game 21-7. And they'll go into a bye week with a 3-2 record, and this is the team that the last 2 years they've only won 2 games. So they're flying high right now. Isaiah Perrin, first-year coach, is doing a really nice job. He's got Art Craig as his offensive coordinator. Got some experienced guys on his staff, and they're turning it around. They may not win another game. They got some tough games ahead, but they've set the foundation. Now, Isaiah said tonight that it was real important that they beat a local team. They wanted to win. They wanted to set notice that hey, we're here in Charleston. We can play with the Charleston teams, and so it was a big win for them.
Hey, when you've only won a couple of games like they have recently, and you're at 3 now, that's a very positive sign. All right, stand by. Hanahan beat Timberland 23-6. Rich Spring Monetta beat Eau Claire 21-8. Northwood 34. Ben Lippen 14. BHP over Palmetto 37-14. Hartsville ends up defeating Dillon 38-28. Lee Academy over Thomas Sumter 35-16. Another final, Williamsburg over Florence Christian 35-20. And another final, Hammond defeats Hilton Head Christian 55-21. Lakeview 37-0 over Johnsonville. Branchville beat Scotts Branch 41-12. And it was Fox Creek over Josie of Augusta 47-6. Kingstree 52, Marion 16. And also a final, Woodland 25, Bamberg Earhart 20, Andrews 30, Waccamaw 27, Hunter Connor Tyler 28, Lake Marion 20. Before we get back to calls, David, did you hear the story? I'm sure you did, either heard it or read about it. Conway and Ainer, your reaction to how that went down?
I heard you describing it as I got on, and that's one for the books. You got to make sure that they've got to make sure those zeros are showing on all those digits before you drop the ball or hand the ball to the official or whatever. And apparently he left it a little early, and especially backed up close to your own end zone. I mean that's just a major boo boo. I mean I feel bad for the kid.
Yeah,
he probably didn't think nothing of it. He's going to celebrate a win, and that falls in the category of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, or snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, I should say.
And listen, wins have been hard to come by for Conway, and boy, to have one right there and to lose it on that's a backbreaker. You're right. You feel for the kid. Hunter Connor Tyler beat Lake Marion 28-20. Did I say Andrews beat Waccamaw 30-27? Barnwell beat Swansea 14-7. Lamar 49-0 over North Central. Chesterfield 28, Macby 22. Great Falls 22, Buford 20. Louisville 27, Andrew Jackson 3. And Columbia High beat Wagner Sally 15-0. Let's get back to the phones, work in more scores, more reports. We go to, well, he's been absent for a couple of weeks. I think he was waiting for the Red Sox to be officially eliminated from postseason play. I think we're there. Kevin Selman, voice of T.L. Hanna. Welcome in.
Hey.
Tough night tonight, huh?
Yeah, Phil. Thanks for having us. It was quite an entertaining ball game from J.W. Pinky Bab Stadium down in Greenwood tonight. Unfortunately, our Yellow Jackets come up a little bit on the short end tonight, but quite an entertaining game for sure.
What was the difference in the game? It was a close game. Did Greenwood win it late, or did Hannah try to catch up late? How did it work out?
Greenwood scored the go-ahead touchdown, which ended up being the winning touchdown with about 3 minutes to go in the game. It's one of those nights where the Yellow Jackets, oddly enough, could not get the ground game running. Only rushed for 72 yards on the night, and we're used to rushing for about 400 yards a game. Greenwood, on the other hand, got 172 yards rushing. But the Yellow Jackets were actually able to throw the ball tonight. 5 of 11 was Brandon Cunningham, our senior quarterback, for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. They actually threw the ball better than Greenwood did. Just a tough night. The defensive line for Greenwood was the difference. We couldn't run the ball. And for the first time, this is a stat that you'll appreciate, and I think it's kind of amazing. For the first time in 5 years, going back 5 years ago, Teohana lost the second game in the regular season for the first time in 5 years.
Wow. Well, that tells you how great they have been, but it's been a struggle this year. Is there a youth movement going on, something different?
Well, a very young football team, and we're, like I said, 2-2 on the season. Lost to West Side, which I think a lot of people are going to lose to West Side this year. And then tonight's game was one of those games, give Greenwood credit. I think we play them 10 times. It's probably 5-5. It's 2 evenly matched teams, but tonight was their night. But the Jackets got a chance to rebound as they get back on the road next week as we travel to Malden. It's our 3rd straight road game early on here in the season. So, young season, but the Jackets got a chance to get better, just very young football team.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I'm sure I'll see you in Death Valley tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. And the Red Sox are officially over and out.
Yes, sir. That's another night. I popped a bottle of champagne when the Yankees clinched the playoff spot, and then I'll pop another one tonight now that the Red Sox are done. That's another happy moment for me.
I appreciate it, Phil. Look, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it very much.
Bye-bye.
I got to run to the break here on the high school football scoreboard. Be back with more in just a moment. I hate to rub that into Red Sox fans out there, but hey, you're used to it. Chester 54, Union County 12, Liberty 60, Walhalla 41, Landrum 48, West Oak nothing, Woodruff 45, Chesney 28, Central 44, Blacksburg 14, Irmo beat Myrtle Beach 38-12, West Florence defeats Lugoff Elgin 28-7, and Bluffton 31, Lucy Beckham 17. Back in a moment.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Set your youth up for a lifetime of financial success with Smart Start from Founders Federal Credit Union. Smart Start products and educational resources help teach kids and teens the basics of saving, budgeting, and smart spending. Help them learn smart money skills to jumpstart their financial journey with Smart Start savings, debit, certificates, and educational resources. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by CUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know it's possible to avoid probate court after you die, regardless of what you own? Why put your loved ones through a long, stressful public process when there are better options for your family? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of Co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
And we're back on the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Lakewood over Will 17-14, Darlington 26, Lower Richland 12, South Florence 42, Crestwood 7, Gray Collegiate 26, Midland Valley 21, Brooklyn Casey 34, South Aiken 27, Richland Northeast at Zemp Stadium, David Shelton, Richland Northeast 26, Camden 15. That's a huge road win. I think now you stamp RNE as a definite 4A championship contender.
Yeah, I think so. That is a huge win. A lot less scoring than I anticipated. I thought both teams would be in the 30s, so I don't know the details if Camden turned the ball over or if Northeast just played great defense. But I saw a highlight of their quarterback, Wilson, go about 64 yards with a touchdown on Twitter, and he's a special-looking athlete. I think he's going to make NC State. He's going to be a serious contender for playing time at NC State early.
You know, if you're the Shrine Bowl coaches of South Carolina, the offensive coaches, and you look at Cutter Woods and Wilson and Brand at Irmo, I mean, one of those is not going to make the Shrine Bowl team, which means that'll make the Touchstone Energy Bowl coaches happy. But what do you do?
Well, I think, you left out some guys that'll probably make it over those guys. I mean, Cutter Woods is going to make it. Will Wilson could play receiver if needed. Brand could play safety if needed. They got the quarterback, Finley Polk at Northwestern. You got the kid at Somerville who's really good. They're not going to be short of quarterbacks. They may have to take guys and move them around. But you're right. I mean, they all can't make the one roster, so the North-South will benefit from the excess number of quality quarterbacks. They're very good high school quarterbacks that have the potential to be very good college guys. And, every year we have a lot of guys that put up numbers, but then, they go to college and you never hear from them again because high school football is different than college football. But these guys, they're at a different level. There's some major talent.
Okay, back to folks out in the fields tonight. Let's go to Bruce Simmons. Thank you for joining us, Daniel and Clinton. And Daniel with the win tonight. This one was a slobber knocker. Hey, Brew, welcome in. Thanks for joining us on the scoreboard.
Glad to join you tonight. It was one I can't deny that I thought Daniel might have some trouble with, just with their troubles against the run so far this season, but just a complete effort from Daniel and a good win, 37-12.
Where'd they get the offense from tonight?
It was the best performance of the year so far for sophomore quarterback Grayson Clary. He has offers from Liberty and App State already and threw for 299 yards, 4 scores. Play of the night, he escapes pressure, then takes a big hit, but finds Christian Chancellor Jr. in the end zone for about I think it was a 42-yard touchdown. I mean, he just looks phenomenal. He looks like a D1 kid right now.
And you said their defense against the run has been a point of concern. What did they fix? Because, Clinton loves to run the football, and they're very good. What did they do well tonight?
Well, it just seemed interesting. I guess that was week 1 technically. They played Stratford, and the running back from Stratford nearly had 300 yards against them. But tonight they held Clinton, according to my statistics, I had them at 46 carries for 126 yards. It just seemed like Daniel was doing such a good job stopping the run. Clinton actually turned to the pass pretty early, but what's his name? Tushawan Richardson, the quarterback from Clinton, he went out in the second half with injury, got hurt in the first half, and that really limited what they were able to do offensively. But Daniel did a great job, and it forced Clinton to go to the air pretty early.
Hey, Brew, we thank you very much up there at the Journal in Seneca, and we'll keep in touch. Be sure to holler at us next week.
Yeah, of course. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Brew Nimmons. Did I say Simmons before? I can't read. Brew Nimmons from that corner of the state up there. We appreciate that very much. Let's go quickly. Time is short. We want to go next to Travis Jenkins, who was at Chester and Union County tonight. Travis, you saw a blowout, did you not?
Absolutely, and I think you've gotten really far in life to not be able to read. So, I mean, that's congrats.
It's not something that I was attempting to do. It's just happened naturally.
Yeah. So right before the game, Chester coach Victor Floyd jogged past me and said, got a little surprise tonight, and that being that quarterback Trooper Floyd returned a little earlier than expected from his ankle injury. They were, I think, targeting next week against Keenan or either the region opener, but he cleared whatever, medical test he needed to clear. So he started, made an immediate difference. Opening drive, had a 31-yard scramble, threw a 42-yard touchdown pass. Only played a half, but he didn't have to play more than that because Chester was up 40-0 or whatever it was, 38-0 I think at halftime. In 2 quarters, threw for 177 yards and 4 touchdowns, ran for 62 and another score. Tyler Williams caught 2. Defense played great as they have even through the 0-3 start. I think Union got their first down with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Zeke Evans had his 5th pick of the year. So he's, I'm sure, among the state leaders in that category, but just made a huge difference because their offense is predicated on running the ball, but also being able to stretch the field. And with a sophomore backup who didn't play last year, at the helm the last couple of weeks, he didn't get them beat, which is what you would want from a backup quarterback who hadn't played a lot of football, but he couldn't stretch the field. I mean, he was efficient and took care of the ball, but having Trooper back made an enormous difference. So Chester 1-3 now, and I would imagine have a pretty tough test next week with a pretty good Keenan team.
Yes, indeed, they are pretty good. Assuming that Trooper is Victor's son.
Yes, yeah, he is senior 3-year starter. He went out, I think, in the second quarter of the opener against Lancaster. They were up 12-0 and driving, and then lost that one, lost close to Catawba Ridge, lost a heartbreaker late last week to Saluda. So getting him back, huge boost. Offense, it was clicking on all cylinders because being able to stretch the field, was possible again tonight. And they're playing Union, who they're new coach, very young, I think. So it might would have been a night where they maybe could have run the backup out there and just run the ball and still had a pretty good shot to win. But this is a big boost for them going into Keenan next week and then Region the week after that.
All right, Travis, thank you, man. We appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
All right, man.
Thank you. Great job. David, a couple of quick scores to talk about before we hit the break. Gaffney in overtime defeats Boiling Springs 28-22. First of all, I saw video from that game. Looked like the stadium there was packed. We were talking about attendance earlier tonight. But what about that showing both ways?
Yeah, I know it's a loss for Boiling Springs, but that's if there's such a thing, a good loss, because I really needed to see how they would respond to such a big game against a quality opponent, and to go to overtime and lose to a team like Gaffney, it shows that they're for real. I mean, they're going to win a lot of games. They don't want any moral victories, and they probably will go back and talk about how they should have won the game, and maybe should have. But is a good win for Gaffney, because Boiling Springs is obviously for real.
Yeah, really. And we've got Westside over Prince Avenue Christian of Georgia, fourth quarter score 49-41. So try and get a final on that one here as soon as we can. But we've got the Rams up by 8, and we'll be back. Top of the hour break. David Shelton's with us. More to come. We'll be back.
WQXL Columbia W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor. Residents of a tiny Appalachian town are struggling to cope with a shooting involving two of its most prominent citizens.
Authorities say a judge in a rural Kentucky county was fatally shot at the local courthouse. A local sheriff has been charged with murder in the killing. The governor says District Judge Kevin Mullins was fatally shot in his chambers. Letcher County Sheriff Sean M. Steins opened fire following an argument. He was taken into custody at the scene without incident. State Police Trooper Matt Gayhart says they're still learning more about the confrontation.
The details I do not have at this time. We know that it was an argument between the two that led up. What exactly transpired prior to the shots being fired, still things that we're trying to get answers to.
That audio is courtesy of WTVQ. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Also at townhall.com, correspondent Shelley Adler reports hotter summers are making high school football a fatal game for some players.
Climate change is affecting high school football players with 5 deaths since July of suspected heat-related illnesses. Barry Keim is a climatologist at Louisiana State University's School of Public Health.
These last 2 summers should serve as a wake-up call for all the coaches across that something is afoot.
Ashanta Laster lost her 17-year-old son Philip on August 1st of 2022 after he collapsed during practice.
It's never easy. It's painful. Every thought, every hour's the first. We have to go back and relive that memory.
I'm Shelley Adler.
Communication breakdowns with local law enforcement hampered the Secret Service's performance ahead of a July assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. That's according to a new report that lays out a litany of missed opportunities to stop a gunman who opened fire from an unsecured roof. A 5-page document summarizing concludes finds fault with both local and federal enforcement. More at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life from Trinity Debt Management.
My debt problem started probably about 2016. I needed my life to change financially. I called Trinity and I ended up joining based on high credit card bills and high interest rate. And my counselor at Trinity has been great, and Trinity has been helping me to get on the right path of paying off these credit card bills, bringing down the interest rate. They have consolidated my bills into one low monthly payment. And now I am finally getting out of credit card debt. So I just want to say thank you, Trinity, for showing me a better and greater path.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-676.
My name is Sharon, and soon I will be debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
An important recall to take note of as General Motors is recalling hundreds of thousands of SUVs and pickup trucks. With more on the story, here's correspondent Mike Hempen.
The GM recall involves nearly 450,000 SUVs and pickup trucks. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the electronic brake control module software may fail to display a warning light when a loss of brake fluid occurs. The agency says without the warning light, a vehicle may be driven with low brake fluid, which can reduce braking performance and increase the risk of a crash. The recall includes certain models of the Cadillac Escalade, the Chevrolet Silverado 1500, the Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban 1500, the GMC Sierra 1500, and the GMC Yukon and Yukon XL. I'm Mike Hempen.
You'll always find breaking news, more analysis, more headlines at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
This is Ian with AccuClean. With fall quickly approaching, AccuClean knows that it can be all too easy for kids and pets to track in mud, grass, and leaves. Luckily, we know the solution. Now is the perfect time to get your carpets, rugs, and upholstery cleaned as it extends the freshness and life. AccuClean is a veteran-owned and local carpet cleaning company located in the Midlands for over 20 years. Be sure to give us a call at AccuClean today at 803-957-202 to make sure your carpets are refreshed approaching this season. That's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. We'll see you soon.
WQXL Columbia W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. Please press button now. I said to genius.
It's a Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard with Phil Kornblut and David Shelton. We've got all the scores from across the state, plus game reports and interviews with coaches. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Flex, you're with Founders. Now, let's head to the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia. Here's Phil Kornblut.
All right. Great first hour. Appreciate all the calls from reporters and trying to catch up on all these final scores that are coming in. We're going to pass them along to you as quickly as they come in to us. We've got Richard Wynn over Wardlaw, 30-16. And we also have Jefferson Davis over Holly Hill, 36-18. Also for you, Bethesda beat Patrick Henry, 30-7. Lakeview, 37-0 over Johnsonville. Latta beat Greensea Floyds. Hello. 47-8. Branchville 41, Scotts Branch 12, Hannah Pamplico 40, Carvers Bay 14. Anderson Cavaliers over Dixie 14-6. And Keenan beat Orangeburg Wilkinson 26-0. Fox Creek over Josie of Augusta 47-6. Kingstree 52-16 over Marion. Mullins beat Atlantic Collegiate 44-18. Woodland 25-20 over Bamberg Earhart. Hanahan 23-6 over Timberland. Andrews topped Waccamaw 30-27. HKT 28, Lake Marion 20. Keep hitting these finals for you as we move along. Got a lot of folks waiting, though. Want to get to these reports. Got David Shelton standing by as well to add to the program with his intellect. Justin Mathis joining us now with the story on the Dorman Riverside game. Great matchup in the upstate. Both of these teams good. Let's find out how it turned out. Justin, great to have you. Give us the story.
Thank you, Phil. Glad to be here for another Friday night. This game featured a head coaching matchup between two former North Greenville teammates, between Jake Morris of Dorman and Matt Rochester of Riverside. Go Crusaders. I mean Trailblazers. Sorry. But it, honestly, just a great game. Dorman did a good job turning out yards on the ground. Nick Means, 19 carries, 78 yards. He was the bell cow. And then Najee Fowler was a human wrecking ball with 12 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown that put the game away 24-13. But McCorian Anderson, another start for him tonight as a sophomore, 15-23 passing, one touchdown, one interception, 180 yards total, and that touchdown was to Jarvis Pearson on a nice little crossing route. But another solid performance for the Dorman defense. I mean, that's going to be something the Cavaliers are going to hang their hat on, according to Jake Morris when he spoke to us post-game. But Dorman, let's see here, held Riverside to 217 yards of offense, and through the combination, they have two receivers, Speedy Taylor and Mikhail Skinner. Cavaliers held those two gentlemen to a combined 6 receptions for 99 yards and one touchdown. So, I mean, just a heck of a job by Coach Wade Cooper and that defensive staff on that side of the ball as well. So, but another win for the Cavaliers, 3-1. More importantly, 1-0 in Region 2 5A, and a big rivalry game when we finally get to go back home next week against Burns.
How many road games have you played?
That was the third in a row with
Wow.
a bye week sandwich between.
Wow. Well, not as bad as Burns having to play them all on the road, so.
Oh, no. Hey, I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Hey, Justin, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Talk to you next week. Great job up there, WQUL. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Take care.
Thank you, my man. All right. David, Dorman, I don't know, are they on the verge of breaking through and becoming Dorman again?
I don't know about state championship Dorman, but they're better. They're better than they were a year ago. I mean, they're improved. They're winning close games. They're doing things they need to do. But I don't have them in my top list of state title contenders. We'll see. You know, a lot of football left to play, but very much improved, though, without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Mid Carolina beat Pillion 49-14. Liberty 60, Walhalla 41, Landrum 48, West Oak nothing. Woodruff over Chesney, 45-28. And Central 44, Blacksburg 14, Irmo 38, Myrtle Beach 12, West Florence 28, Lugoff Elgin 7, Bluffton 31, Beckham 17, Beaufort 34, Battery Creek 7, Lakewood over Wilson 17-14. Something we are beginning tonight as well, another new feature of the scoreboard beginning tonight as we feature the executive director of the South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association, Coach Scott Early, who goes to a top game in the state every Friday night. We don't know where he went. We're going to call this, Where in the World is Scott Early Tonight on this Friday night? So we welcome in the championship-winning coach when he was at Myrtle Beach High School, a builder of programs, and now the leader of the Athletic Coaching Association in South Carolina. Coach Scott Early, where in the world were you tonight, sir?
Bowling Springs, South Carolina.
Ooh, you saw a good one.
Yes, we did.
Tell us about it. What'd you take away from it?
Well, first thing you take away is Matt Reel does an amazing job flipping North Myrtle Beach, getting them to a state championship game, and coming up here in 2 years has Bowling Springs. You know, I was at Irmo Burns earlier in the year, and Reggie told me he thought Bowling Springs was the best team in the region in what I call the SEC, and Dan said the same thing. And you know, I feel bad for those kids. They played their tail off. It was, you know, Bowling Springs was methodical and, you know, put together some long drives. They opened the game up on the first drive of 80 yards and a touchdown. And Gaffney was more explosive plays. Little John had 2 touchdowns, 1 kick return for 99 yards. And then late in the third, had a little skirmish over there, and Gaffney's quarterback got ejected, a couple more kids. So late hit out of bounds on the Bowling Springs sideline. At that, you know, the kick return really flipped the game. It stayed 22-22 for quite a while. Gaffney was without their quarterback, went to overtime, and still won the game. But the job that he's done at Bowling Springs, I mean, Bowling Springs is definitely going to be on the map. And you know, just good homegrown kids. They played rec ball there, freshman JV ball, come up through the program. Got a great quarterback. He's a big-time lacrosse player, but it was Bowling Springs really, really looked like a good football team and played good enough to win and was really intense. And it was kind of old-school football. It was standing room only. I mean, both sides were packed. They were standing all around the fence. It was, you know, it was one of those games that we used to be in and play in, and it was fun to be around.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you're traveling the state, being seen and talking to people and taking in the best game of the night, and will be part of the Scoreboard show moving forward. And also, of course, we played your video, the audio from your video tonight on Sports Talk about your story and dealing. You've got the Coaches Association on the forefront here of campaigning and alerting people to the dangers of the drug world out there. And you've got an actual organization, part of your organization dedicated to getting that message out to the kids.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to try to pick up some good causes, and we flew to Texas and learned how they did it in Mississippi and New Mexico, and ended up settling with the Mississippi plan. So it's a joint effort between Mississippi and South Carolina. We actually started it last year, but you know, we were able to get a grant from the legislators, and we're going to put boots on the ground in the schools, and we've got playbooks going out to all athletes and parents in the state. And just you know, Adam Piper, guy who used to be in charge of all the attorney generals, who's Gamecock graduate. I hooked up with him in Texas, and just, you know, we just went on this journey together, and we're you know, all the things that we talked about and hoped for with this grant, we hope we can bring to fruition. And just getting started and getting it kicked off, and you know, it's went really well. And you know, I mean, opioids, fentanyl is the leading cause of death for people under 40 in America. And I know we thought COVID was a crisis, and we've had other things we went through in this country, but fentanyl is a finality. So it's something that we want to keep our young people away from and educate people about. And you know, 90% of the time, if you know about it, it can save your life. So it's something that we're going to take serious, and our 9,200 members in the South Carolina Athletic Coach Association have joined together with Adam's help and a lot of other people's help, and this program's implemented now, and it's something that I hope will make a difference. And, you know, it's personal to me because, you know, I had a player at 19 years old die of fentanyl, and wasn't really supposed to be a fentanyl, but you just don't know. And when you learn about it, it's really dangerous, and it's something that we want to keep away from the athletes in the state of South Carolina.
Absolutely. And, of course, David Shelton is with us, and he knows exactly what you're talking about personally. David, you have a question or comment for the coach?
Yeah, Scott, I made the comment on Sports Talk earlier that this is a war that we probably will never win, but we can win battles. And I think that's what you're doing, and what I'm trying to do is just win individual battles. And deaths are down a tick, but fentanyl is still coming in at record paces. So kids are getting the message. Kids are understanding, but we have so much to overcome. We have so many people that we need to get it, you know, the information in their hands. And and I think the Coaches Association, you know, I've told you I'd partner with y'all at any time. I think this is something that there is not a bigger cause in my heart than what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's really serious and really sad, and you know, the awareness is not what you would think it would be at this point, and hopefully we can raise that a little bit. But we've got some good people, and the legislators are backing us, and we're doing some, you know, we're gonna have some dignitaries at games, and those messages, that was one, but there's some sound bites and things that we're gonna play on the video boards and PR announcements, and we're not just doing it for fall sports and football. We're doing it throughout the whole year, and you know, as long as fentanyl is a problem, we're going to be here and try to fight it a little bit. It's like you said, we're going to win some battles, but if this just saves one life, it's worth it. So.
Absolutely. Coach, we thank you very much. I appreciate you being with us tonight from that Boiling Springs Gaffney game. What a heck of a game. We'll find out where you are next week here on the Scoreboard.
Well, and shout out to Jeff Maple for making my schedule out for me. He tells me where I'm going, so whatever Jeff tells me is the biggest game next week, that's where we'll be. So love to talk to you again.
Looking forward to it. Where in the world is Coach Scott Early? We'll find out next week. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you, man. And, of course, that great message that we'll continue to hammer with David Shelton. And, of course, we got a link to David's website on our website, sportstalksc.com. Just click on the digital ad. Back in a moment.
Founders Federal Credit Union believes in empowering future generations. Help provide our youth a smart start as they begin their financial journey. Discover Smart Start by Founders. Start off with Smart Start savings with a low minimum balance of just $5. Teach responsible spending with a free debit card, text alerts, and no minimum balance. Jumpstart a lifetime of saving and investing with a Smart Start 12-month certificate featuring flexible deposits. Start with just $100 and add more deposits at any time. Finally, dive in deeper with fun educational resources. Founders is excited to team up with you with resources and support to give our youth a smart start towards a brighter tomorrow. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler-Brown. Helping an aging loved one arrange for their care can be one of the most difficult things you will ever do. Fortunately, you don't have to navigate this maze alone. Lawyer Lisa's knowledgeable life care team can lead you down the right path. Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 grazing cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
Okay, back with you here on the High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. All right, let's get back out to the fields. And we have Lane Harris with us. Lane getting ready for that Coastal game tomorrow. But tonight, Myrtle Beach and Irmo coming up to the Midlands to watch that excellent Irmo team take on his very good Myrtle Beach team. Thank you, Lane, for joining us. Irmo, too strong for you guys tonight.
Well, it was not like it was last year. We ended our season at Irmo with a 55-24 loss, and we got a good look at AJ Brand, who had 350 total yards of offense and 5 touchdowns in that ball game to get the win. But tonight was a different story. But here's a news flash: AJ Brand is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks have been starting slow in most of their recent games, and they got down 17-0 midway through the late in the second quarter in this ball game. But turnovers were the story in this ball game. The Seahawks were Gibson Goodrow was intercepted 3 times and fumbled 1 time, and all 4 of those turnovers, guess what, led to 28 Irmo points, and they beat us by 26. So that pretty much tells you the game. But J.J. Brown, his second game back after an injured ankle, he missed the first 2 games, caught a touchdown pass with 1:36 to go in the second quarter to make it a 17-6 game. And then with 1:36 on the clock, we scored too quick because Brand took them right back down the field and hit Joey Albritton with a 32-yard touchdown pass with 18 seconds to go to put them up at halftime, 20-6. But Myrtle Beach won the third quarter, and it was a kind of a bizarre third quarter. We had them pinned down at 3rd and 12 from their own 25-yard line, and guess what? A.J. Brand takes off on a 35-yard run to put them out at midfield. But as they drive down the field, we turn them over on downs at our 12-yard line, and we get the ball and we take it right back down the field. Gibson Goodrow hooks up with John Simmons on a 28-yard touchdown pass. The PAT was missed and was no good, and that made it 24-12. With 5:28 to go in the third quarter. They got the ball again, drove down inside our red zone, and their wide receiver, Malik Miller, who played some running back as well, fumbled the ball at the Myrtle Beach 15-yard line. And then we get the ball back, and we're driving all the way to midfield with 9:59 to go. Gibson Goodrow gets hit from behind by an unseen rusher, fumbles the ball at midfield. Major Taylor, their other defensive end, recovers it and returns it to the Myrtle Beach 49-yard line. A.J. Brand with a 9-yard touchdown run. The PA is good to make it 31-12. And then Goodrow gets intercepted with 3 minutes to go in the game by Major Taylor again. And they return it to the 29 yards. So all 4 of the turnovers led to very short fields for Irmo. Malik Minner finished up the scoring with a 29-yard touchdown run, and that made it 38-12. This team has been playing very inconsistently offensively pretty much the whole year, but they're starting to figure out some things and starting to piece some things together. Poor tackling, drop passes, and 4 turnovers were the story of this game, and that led to 28 points in Irmo's 38-12 win.
So what's your thought about the future for Myrtle Beach from what you've seen and now moving on into region play? Your thoughts on what's ahead for them.
Well, we got Cane Bay next weekend in Somerville. They're a good program, good 5A. The last 2 teams we played, Irmo and Sumter, sandwiched around the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty gnarly teams. They're good. They got good quarterback play, good running backs. They're big, they're physical, and we're not big and we're not physical. And that's one of the things that I think Mickey Wilson wants to improve on this team is our ability to play with the physicality to match these big 5A teams. And he knows it's going to help us when we get into region play. our region now with St. James, Socastee, Conway, Carolina Forest, and North Myrtle Beach, we think is still winnable. And right now we're 1-3 on the season. And I don't know if you remember back in 2000, I think it was 2000, not 18, it was 2013. We were 1-4 to start the season and won the state championship. Not saying that that's going to happen now.
Yeah.
But Mickey Wilson has a fantastic way of getting kids to believe in what he's selling and getting them to come together as a team. So they're starting to play more consistently. The offensive line, who were all brand new this year, played very well. They came into the games only giving up 4 sacks in the first 3 games. They gave up some sacks, but most of them were in garbage time at the end of the game when Irma was really pinning back the ears and coming after him. So if this offensive line can continue to prove, and we can figure out how to catch some passes, because we killed ourselves on some drives by drop passes, and one of the passes went right through one of our receivers' hands and turned into an interception. So those are the things that you can't do. You can't turn the ball over. You can't drop passes. You can't tackle poorly and beat a good football team.
No question. Lane, thank you. Good luck tomorrow with the Chanticleers.
Look forward to it. It's going to be a great one at Brooks Stadium. Should be a sold out, and hopefully the Chanticleers can come away with the dub.
Thank you, man. And tell Chris Bergen we said howdy.
Will do.
All right, man. Lane Harris, and talk to you next week. Let's go to down in the Loco area. Max Araj joining us from Loco Sports to give us the whip around down there. Hey, Max, how are you?
Hey, doing good, fellas. How are you?
We're doing fine. Thanks for joining us. What stood out to you tonight down there?
Couple of upset victories down here in the Loco area. Starting off with the number 1 ranked team in all of 2A football, Hampton County suffers their first loss on the year as they traveled to Hilton Head High School. Hilton Head bashed Hampton County 35-14. It was 35-7 till the final 2 minutes. Great game for Hilton Head High School. This 4A region, we don't know who's going to come out on top right now. It is pretty even between 5 schools within this region, and so that was a big highlight of the night. Bluffton obviously beating Lucy Beckham 31-17. Good bounce back win for Bluffton High School. Whale Branch, man, they can't get a win. 43-7 tonight against Philip Simmons at Whale Branch. That's their second straight loss at home. A lot of questions going on right now for Whale Branch. Hopefully they can figure out the answers to them. Hammond beats Hilton Head Christian Academy in Columbia 55-21. Hilton Head Christian Academy, no match for that 7 straight state championship victorious Hammond school. So good win for Hammond. Bethesda Academy downs Patrick Henry 30-7. Dorchester Academy beats Buford Academy 16-6. Buford High School gets their first win on the year as they beat Battery Creek in the Battle of the Rebo Road Bowl, 34-7 the final score. Buford extending their streak. Battery Creek has not beaten Buford since 2003, and that streak will continue. And then the other 2 scores, Carlton Prep beats Clarendon Hall 26-0. And then how about this? Battle of winless teams. Cross Schools against Conway Christian. Cross Schools gets their first ever win as a football program as they beat Conway Christian 62-28. How about that? Congratulations to Cross Schools for the first win in their program's history.
How about that? It's a way to get it done with some emphasis, 62-28. Is that 8-man Cross Schools and Conway Christian?
Yes, it is 8-man football.
Very nice. Max, as always, great job. Appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir, fellas. Talk to you later.
Thank you so much. Okay, David Shelton, any thoughts on anything you just heard?
Surprised that Hampton County got hammered by Hilton Head. Hilton Head winning a game is not a surprise, but it sounds like they dominated them, like they really beat them up. So that's something that Hampton County is going to have to go back and take a look at, obviously. But Hammond, Hilton Head Christian, two state champions battling, and you just see how good Hammond is. I mean, they scored 55 points on a really good team.
Yeah. Okay, David, stand by. We'll be back. We've got almost all the scores in. We'll run through those. Got more reports coming up, too. This is the High School Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
With 7 locations in the Midlands, Groucho's Deli has been crafting award-winning culinary delights for over 80 years. Bite into the legendary STP Dipper or Apollo and let the unique flavors of My Wife's Salad dressed in our famous Formula 45 sauce enchant you. Don't just dream about it. Taste the hashtag Groucho's goodness today. Whether you're looking for comfort at your doorstep or a cozy corner in our deli, we're always just a click or a step away. Groucho's Deli, your neighborhood. Taste the good. Grouchos.com.
Hi, this is Sal from Grow Your Garden with Sal. Every Saturday at 8 a.m. on The Point, we'll give you tips on gardening and planting while showcasing local farms. Join us here Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. The leader of Hezbollah vowed to retaliate for this week's deadly attacks on the group's communications devices. Israel and Hezbollah exchanged strikes on Thursday as he spoke. Nasrallah called the attacks on Hezbollah's devices a severe blow that crossed a red line. Lebanon is still reeling from this week's attacks on electronic devices used by Hezbollah. Authorities say a judge in rural Kentucky County was shot and killed at the local courthouse Thursday. The local sheriff was charged in the shocking slaying. The governor and the judge was fatally shot in his chambers, and the police said the sheriff opened fire following an argument. State police say District Judge Kevin Mullins was hit multiple times in the shooting. The judge was pronounced dead at the scene. Boeing is replacing the head of its defense and space business. That's the unit that has been saddled with money-losing government contracts and embarrassing failures by its Starliner space capsule. Boeing said Friday that Ted Colbert was removed immediately. This is SRN News.
This is Ian with AccuClean. With fall quickly approaching, AccuClean knows that it can be all too easy for kids and pets to track in mud, grass, and leaves. Luckily, we know the solution. Now is the perfect time to get your carpets, rugs, and upholstery cleaned as it extends the freshness and life. As a veteran-owned and local carpet cleaning company located in the Midlands for over 20 years. Be sure to give us a call at AccuClean today at 803-957-1202 to make sure your carpets are refreshed approaching this season. That's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. We'll see you soon.
Struggling to find a fun spot for Fido when vacation calls? Say bon voyage to your worries with a Paws Paradise. Whether it's for a weekend getaway or a full holiday escapade, your furry friend will be wagging with excitement. Daily doggy daycare or extended stays, we make every moment a tail-wagging adventure. Discover more at apawsparadise.com or fetch us a call at 551-0323. It's not just a stay. It's a holiday for your pooch.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the Point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
Sono Bello loves 100.7 The Point listeners so much that they just made you friends and family. That's right, Point family. I'm Casey Whitener, and you're now included in the Sono Bello Friends and Family Fall Savings Celebration. This is a rare event. You'll enjoy the same special savings that Sono Bello doctors, nurses, and staff, friends and families receive, but appointments are limited, so you need to schedule now. Remember that Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas, tummy, sides, thighs, arms, saggy, loose, jiggly skin, gone in one comfortable visit. You could starve yourself, hit the gym every day, or you could lose the fat in one day at Sono Bello. Do this for you and save during Sono Bello's Friends and Family Fall Savings Celebration. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/radio. That's SONOBELLO.com/radio. Tell them Keisha.
All right, back we are. Sports Talk Media Network, High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Phil Kornblut, David Shelton, Josh Cohen on this Friday night. What a fast show it has been. Going to cram in as much as we can here in our final half hour, beginning with Hugh Gray, who had an offensive shootout tonight. Newberry and Fairfield Central, they only combined for 91 points. Hugh, the Bulldogs needed one more touchdown to keep this thing going, but you fall 49-42.
Yeah, you asked me last week if I still had my voice after the Chapin Newberry game. I was okay last week, but this week is a little bit different story after that game.
I bet.
First quarter started off pretty mundane. It was 7-7, trading touchdowns. Newberry and Fairfield Central kind of groping each other out, feeling each other out. Second quarter, though, Newberry broke it out with B.J. Jones scoring 3 touchdowns to go up 28-7. But Fairfield Central wouldn't be denied, was able to slide in a touchdown very late in the half. So we went to the break 28-14 Newberry. Fairfield Central got the second half kickoff on that drive, scored, and that would kind of be the theme for the next 12 to 15 minutes of the game. Fairfield Central could almost do no wrong and inflicted their will offensively on Newberry's defense. Took the lead at 35-28, and then both teams traded touchdowns. Fairfield Central goes up 41-35. Newberry late in the half, right after a touchdown by Fairfield Central, Newberry takes the kickoff 85 yards. Caleb Levy for Newberry takes the kickoff 85 yards for a score. So you wonder if maybe there's a miracle in the cards, but there's not. Fairfield Central able to run the ball as they had all night after about midway the second quarter, just able to run the ball whenever, wherever, however they wanted to. Running back for Fairfield Central, Ty Greer. Man, he's got a little bit of everything. He's got balance, he's got speed, he's got vision, and he's got power. And I think he ended up with about 250 yards rushing tonight, plus a touchdown. So really was high-scoring, high-octane game tonight. None of the touchdown drives lasted more than 4 minutes, and most of them were less than 3. And all of them weren't short. There were some 70, 80-yard drives in there. So really was an offensive showing for both teams. Newberry's defense just couldn't get that one stop they needed to come out on top.
A game of big plays. I mean, it just moved it, and moved it quickly both ways.
Absolutely, sure was.
Yeah. All right, Hugh, thank you, man. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Hugh Gray. Story of the Newberry Fairfield Central. All right, David, what do you think about that? A lot of points in that one. Exciting high school football game there.
Yeah, Newberry has shown the ability to score some points, but they gotta get better on defense. They gave up a bunch last week to Clinton and had some issues tonight. But if they're going to make a run, they're going to have to shore up that defense.
Man, I can remember, David, I know you can as well. Fairfield Central used to be overflowing with athletes. I mean, they could play with practically anybody and great coaches. They had a combination of great coaches, great athletes. Where are they now? Kind of on their way back, you think?
Well, I mean, they still have good athletes. They don't have as many because the recruiting process has affected a lot of schools in Midlands. So, but they still got good players. I mean, those kids grow up playing football and love football. They just may not have the sheer numbers that they used to have before the days of the portal.
Okay. Let's see. We're going to go next to Richard Sally. Orangeburg Prep tonight. Orangeburg Prep, I think, as I saw that score earlier, I think they took it on the chin. Richard, what you got for us?
Well, Phil, it was a game of what if. OP took the opening drive, drove down to Greenwood red zone, but threw an interception in the end zone on a 50-50 ball to their all-region wide receiver, T. Riley, wasn't able to haul it in. Greenwood took the ball back, drove all the way inside OP's 5 where they turned the ball over on downs. But 2 plays later, OP drops the ball on a handoff, so giving Greenwood the ball on the 5-yard line. Hamp Davis punches it in for a 6-0 lead, and then after a penalty on the extra point, Davis again goes over for the 2-point conversion. Greenwood up 8-0. On the insinuating kickoff on a failed onside kick or an unplanned onside kick. I don't know if it was the tee that went flying or the kicker's shoe. The ball squibs off and takes a crazy bounce on the OP 35, and we're not able to cover it up. So Greenwood gets the ball on the 35, drives down for another touchdown. So they scored 15 points on a total drive of 40 yards. So the half ends with Greenwood up 15-0. Greenwood takes the opening kick of the third quarter and drives down, scores the touchdown, goes up 21-0. OP finally gets on the board late in the third quarter. Jasiri Parker on a 5-yard run. Walt Mims at extra point, making it 21-7. Fourth quarter back and forth. Nobody can ever get any points scored until the very end when Greenwood's running the clock out, and they run it in with 4 seconds to go, I guess, to try to get prepared for a 3-way tie and skis a 2A Region 2. Orangeburg Prep falls to 2-3. Greenwood improves to 4-2. Both of them are 1-1 in region play. Orangeburg Prep goes to Calhoun, who's 2-0 in Region 2, and probably determine who's going to be the region champion next week in St. Matthews.
Already time to decide region titles. Okay, man. Hey, we thank you very much, Richard, for that report, and we'll talk to you next week. Good job.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Okay. David, we're getting to that time already in some Skeezer regions. Of course, they started a week earlier than the high school leagues. David, Somerville beat Chapin 53-33 tonight. You thought that'd be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, neither defense is very good, and both offenses are really good. Somerville won. I thought I picked them to win. I thought they would. I thought Chapin had not played a team of that caliber. Somerville's played a tougher schedule. They were at home, but Chapin can learn from this. This is what they're going to see in their region when they go Lexington, River Bluff, Dutch Fork, Irmo. I mean, they're gonna have some of these nights. So this is good for them. Not the end of the world. The game doesn't matter.
True. But your comment about Somerville, or neither, has a great defense. I mean, Somerville can score, but I mean, you're going to have to play some defense somewhere in the playoffs. Can they muster a good enough defensive effort to go deep?
Well, they're getting better. They're getting better. I mean, Chapin was averaging 50 points a game, so to hold them to 33 is pretty good. They had a lot. They got like 11 new guys on defense playing new positions, so it's going to take some time. But I think they'll continue. They got good players. They just have to kind of bring it all together. And again, they stay healthy on offense with the weapons they have. The defense doesn't have to be great. It's just got to be good enough because the offense is going to put some points on the board.
All right, let me give you the other finals from the Low Country. Academic Magnet 43, St. John 7. Ashley Ridge 45, Carolina Forest 35, Beaufort 34, Battery Creek 7, Baptist Hill 28, Bethune-Bowman 8, Bishop England 34, Porter-Gaud 14, Bluffton 31, Lucy Beckham 17, Hilton Head, the big surprise of the night, I would have to say, 35, Hampton County 14, James Island 31, St. James nothing, North Charleston 17, Stall nothing. Just heard, Somerville 53, Chapin 33, Hanahan 23, Timberland 6, Wando 21, West Ashley 7, Philip Simmons 43, Well Branch 7, Woodland 25, Bamberg Earhart 20. Okay.
You got the Phil. You got the Bishop England Porter-Gaud score reversed. Porter-Gaud won that game.
Yes. Did I write it? Did I give it wrong? You're right.
Bishop 34-14.
So it was Porter-Gaud 34-14, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think I read it right. I mean, I think I read it but wrote it down wrong. So I remember being a little surprised at Bishop England lost. So it's Portugal 34, BE 14, right?
Correct.
Got it right now. Thank you. Just typed it in there wrong. Appreciate that. Before we hit the break, let's welcome in from Mountain View Prep, Coach Gray Ramsey, as they took on a big-time program tonight and came away with a big-time victory as they took down Asheville School 42-21. Mountain View got the win, and Coach joins us now. And, boy, a lot of talent on that field tonight, and congratulations, Coach. Impressive win.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Just really excited to, anytime you get to go and play in a game like that. And, for us, as we're getting off the ground and playing, it was a great opportunity and challenge for us to kind of really see where we're at as a program. And proud of our coaching staff for the game plan that we put together. And the kids did a really good job of executing early, and we got off to a really good start. It was at halftime 35-7, and we're able to, do some things in the second half, and part of our learning curves and experiences. What do you do when you need to put the game away? And I think we'll be better off for it, and came away with a 42-21 win. So really pleased and happy as we head into our bye week, opportunity to evaluate where our program's at and get healthy a little bit as we get ready for our reach and play.
Did you have another big night from Jalen McGill running the football?
Yeah, Jalen did a really good job. They presented some things that you could tell, obviously, that the goal was to take him away in some of those things. So Bryson Drummond, our quarterback, and Katie Hainsworth had a really big night. Katie had another 3 touchdowns out wide. So really had to take what they gave us early, which opened up a lot of things in the passing game. So we had some big explosive plays in the passing game, and that's kind of the luxury that we have with Jalen as we move him around in different positions on the field, and obviously with him in the backfield. Sometimes the boxes get heavy, and we're really excited with the talent that we have, especially KD out wide and Bryson being able to pull the trigger right there. It opened up a lot of things for some passing game, and they executed and made some big plays. And then towards the end of the second half, when they made the adjustment there, it's kind of a numbers game. Jalen really kind of sealed the deal and had some big carries for us at the end of the second half, or at the end of the first half, that got us to that 35-7 cushion.
Impressive. David, you got a question for Coach?
Game added like at the beginning of the week or something. This wasn't on the schedule, was it?
So early on in the I made this schedule, and I can't remember when we added American Leadership, which was originally scheduled for this game. Prior to the season starting, just talking with Coach Beck, American Leadership, and looking at where they were at in their program. I was reached out to by Asheville School, and obviously not really knowing where you're at in your program, but an opportunity to potentially challenge ourselves and to go and play in a caliber of game this way, and looked at where we were headed, and with American Leadership, where they felt like they were in a program and really wanted to do right by them, and they kind of mutually agreed that they would like to potentially go a different way too. So it gave me an opportunity to schedule this game with Asheville School, which we've learned a lot about our program, now that we're coming back down the road, where we're at and what we need to work on, and evaluating what we need to try to address before we get to this region slate, which is going to be filled with a lot of quality teams and great coaches and great tradition-rich schools. So just glad that we got the opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more about who we are and where we're at in our program. It was really beneficial for us, and super happy that you learn those lessons and also get a positive result at the same time.
All right, Coach, we'll let you run. I know you're tired after a long day and a long night of football. We appreciate it. Enjoy the week off, though I know you'll be working hard and practicing hard. We'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. You guys have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gray Ramsey at Mountain View Prep. That program's hit the ground running, David, no question about it.
Yeah, when you get players like Jalen McGill to move in, and Bryson Drummond is a really good player. They they're not loaded across the board, 22 players, but they got some really good studs to carry the load.
Absolutely. And I've talked to that McGill kid. He's a very fine individual, very mature young man for his age. Does a great job. Be back after the break.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty.
Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at experiencecolumbiasc.com.
Set your youth up for a lifetime of financial success with Smart Start from Founders Federal Credit Union. Smart Start products and educational resources help teach kids and teens the basics of saving, budgeting, and smart spending. Help them learn smart money skills to jumpstart their financial journey with Smart Start savings, debit, certificates, and educational resources. Learn more at foundersfcu.com/smartstart. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Touchstone Energy cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
Okay, final segment. Let's take you through the final scores. We just did the low country. Let's go to the upstate. Greer 63, Berea nothing. Pickens 35, Blue Ridge 26 in overtime. Gaffney 28, Boiling Springs 22, Powdersville 40, Broome 21, Andrews, North Carolina 49, Calhoun Falls nothing. No score on Southside and Carolina that we can find. Woodruff 45, Chesney 28, Christchurch 14, Chapman 7. Rock Hill 21, Clover 12. Crescent 35, 96-16. Daniel 37, Clennon 12. Anderson Cavaliers 14, Dixie 6. J.L. Mann 55, Easley 6. Catawba Ridge 30, Fort Mill nothing. Great Falls 22, Buford 20. Greenville 35, Woodmont 31. Greenwood 25, T.L. Hanna 21. Hillcrest 51, Malden 6. No score in on Indian Land and Marvin Ridge of North Carolina. Louisville 27, Andrew Jackson 3. Mountain View 42, Asheville School 21. Northwestern 67, Nation Ford 13. Belton Honeypath 37, Palmetto 14. Dorman 24, Riverside 13. South Point 56, AC Flora 14. Saluda 19, Southside Christian 14. Spartanburg 49, Eastside 6. Fountain Inn 29, St. Joseph's 28. Seneca 63, Travelers Rest 12. Chester 54, Union County 12. Burns 52, Wade Hampton nothing. Liberty 60, Walhalla 41. Nothing in on Ware Shoals and Hickory Christian of North Carolina. Landrum 48, West Oak nothing. Westside did finish off Prince Avenue Christian of Georgia 49-41, and Dreer 26, York 12. So I guess from those scores, David, we take that Westside is good, no matter who they play. Gaffney is good. Boiling Springs is really good. And some others are starting to maybe step it up a little bit. I think J.O. Mann is really good again. And, of course, Daniel's Daniel, and Clinton will still be good as they run through their region schedule.
Yeah, Gaffney's quarterback got ejected tonight, so we'll have to see how that affects future games.
Yes. Anything else about the upstate you want to say?
No, just that West Side is good. I think that's what you said.
Good. Are you ready to crown them? Every week, are you ready to crown them the best team in the state, bar none?
No.
Oh, you're not.
There's a team in the Midlands. I think they go by Dutch Fork. they're pretty freaking good. So they're pretty freaking good too.
Yeah.
So, they won tonight 51-0 over Oceanside. So I would say those two teams are the cream of the crop in South Carolina.
Makes sense. In the Midlands, Batesburg, Leesville 60, Calhoun County nothing, Branchville 41, Scotts Branch 12, Brooklyn Casey 34, South Aiken 27, Richland Northeast 26, Camden 15, South Florence 42, Crestwood 7, Blackville Hilda 20, Denmark Oler 12. As you mentioned, Dutch Fork 51, Oceanside Collegiate nothing, Ridge Spring Monetta 21, Eau Claire 8, Fairfield Central 49, Newberry 42, Fox Creek 47, Josie of Georgia 6, North Augusta 37, Gilbert 14, Gray Collegiate 26, Midland Valley 21, Hunter Conard Tyler 28, Lake Marion 20, Irmo 38, Myrtle Beach 12, Lincoln County, Georgia 41, River Bluff 15. That's not right. Silver Bluff 15. Lincoln County 41, Silver Bluff 15. Darlington 26, Lower Richland 12, West Florence 28, Lugoff Elgin 7, Mid Carolina 49, Pillion 14, Lamar 49, North Central nothing, Keenan 26, Orangeburg Wilkinson 20, River Bluff 44, Sharon nothing, Sumter 56, Spring Valley 7, Strom Thurmond 26, Emerald 14, Barnwell 14, Swansea 7, Columbia 15, Wagner Sally nothing, Westwood 7, Blythewood nothing, and White Knoll 49, Cane Bay 13. Let's go to PD Grand Strand. And this Ainer-Conway game, you got to read it to believe it. Ainer wins it 39-35. Conway was set to win with 0.2 seconds to go. Quarterback took the snap, threw the ball up in the air before the clock expired. Ainer recovered for a touchdown in the win. Unbelievable. Central Pageland 44, Blacksburg 14, Hannah Pamplico 40, Carvers Bay 14, Hartsville 38, Dillon 28, Lakeview 37, Johnsonville nothing, Kingstree 52, Marion 16, Latta 47, Greensea Floyd's 8, Chesterfield 28, McBee 22, Mullins 44, Atlantic Collegiate 18, Andrews 30, Waccamaw 27, and Lakewood 17, Wilson 14. Gave it the Low Country earlier. Skeeza, Northwood 34, Ben Lippen 14, Clarendon Hall 26, Colleton Prep nothing, Cross School 62, Conway Christian 28, Dorchester 16, Buford Academy 6, Greenwood Christian 27, Orangeburg Prep 7, Hammond 55, and Hilton Head Christian 21, Heathwood Hall 21, Cardinal Newman 17, Jefferson Davis 36, Holly Hill Academy 18, Bethesda Academy 30, Patrick Henry 7, Cathedral 62, the Kings 43, Richard Wynn 30, Wardlaw 16, Williamsburg 35, Florence Christian 20, and Wilson Hall 42, Camden Military nothing. David, your number one thought from the night. You got about 30 seconds.
Number one thought would be next week is a bye week for a lot of teams. Tonight was a bye week, but after next week, everybody will be going full bore. October 4th, we're going region play all the way through for a month. That's what excites me. These non-region games are great. You get to look at the numbers and see the stats, but October 4th is when the season begins.
The drive for the championship. That's when it starts. 1st of October. Red October.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, David. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Shelton has left the building. Thanks to everybody that called in. And thanks to all you players, you coaches, you family members who were nice tonight, and you officials who did a great job. We'll see you next Friday night on the High School Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders.
Hi, this is Sal from Grow Your Garden with Sal. Every Saturday,